So welcome everyone this morning. Thank you for joining. You can go ahead and find your comfortable position to sit in and we'll get started right away here. When you're in your seat, let your palms face up, and to the best of your ability throughout this practice, just relax the entire body. Let everything be very natural, graceful, calm, steady movements. Let's close down the eyes and center with our breath. A wonderful way to center ourselves into this present moment is to first start by feeling the body. And what that means is to feel from within the body. It's almost like there's a sense of a glow in any part of your body that you concentrate on. So you might try with the hands, you could do it with the heart. Like there's a mellow light shining from within that part of the body. Let's try it together in the center of the heart. So shining the mellow light of your attention and holding awareness of the heart center. And all the while holding this awareness, become aware of the breath flowing in and out of the nose. You might even imagine that the breath is going directly to the heart, expanding, and exhaling, releasing directly from the heart. While sensing in the heart, whilst being aware of the breath, now listen to the sounds that are around you. Paramhansa Yogananda teaches that concentration is the cure for all mental illness. If you find yourself spread thin or distracted, feeling distant from the contentment of the present moment, this little practice, a trifold practice of feeling, breathing, and listening, even for a moment or two, is enough to restore some degree of peace within your life. Let's try it with sensation that might be uncomfortable in the body. Find some part of your body that may feel tight, and without trying to change or alter the experience, let it be exactly the way it is. Allowing the mellow light of your awareness to shine on this part of the body. repeating rhythms of breath to enter in and out of the body. And finally, listening for all the sounds around you. And you might even listen for the sounds within you. Just take a few final moments, lifting our energy, the mellow light of our awareness to the spiritual eye. As though you just ascended to the top of the mountain and you're beholding a vast, limitless horizon in front of you. We'll join the hands together in prayer. And rather than a full chant this morning, let's use the sound of Om to begin opening our practice. And we'll use the sound of Om in progressive steps higher on the scale. These are called the singing Oms, and it's a wonderful way to help energy shift in our bodies. The particular notes are associated with the heart, the throat, and the spiritual eye. Resting at the spiritual eye, chanting inwardly the sound of Om. Closed eyes, notice the heart. Notice the spiritual eye. Let's take a nice deep breath and we'll reach our arms up overhead, palms facing up. Exhale, spread the arms nice and wide. Good, we're going to inhale, arms into tight fists, fists up into the arm. Double inhale, squeeze your body and release. Again. Squeeze up through the legs, the arms, the torso, even the throat and face, and release. Nice gradual tension building. Right into a vibrate. And release. 3 more times, leave nothing on the table. Again. Exhaling from the center of the heart. Last time. Look right into the spiritual eye. And release. Let's inhale, arms up above the head, palms reaching up. Exhale, nice smooth movements all the while as you practice. Good. Let's get one more round like that. Inhaling, press the palms up. Exhale, relax shoulders, relax elbows, hands, wrists, all the way down. Let's start with rubbing of the palms here, right in front of the heart. As you rub the palms, I want you to feel any energies in the heart that may be blocking your joy, are being burned up in the friction between the palms. Good. Let's release them. Soft hands to the heart. Double exhale, release the hands out. No tension. Just cast those feelings from the heart. Open the channel of your heart. Relax. Close the eyes. Look right into the spiritual eye one more time. And release. Let's get rubbing down by the navel here. So keep rubbing, keep rubbing. Same thing. Any feelings that may be stuck in this part of the body, feel like you're burning them out with the friction between the palms. We're generating prana. This is for the base of the spine and the low spine. Good. And then take your hands and start by rubbing on the belly a few rounds here. Send some good healing energy to all the internal organs. Good. Reverse the rotation. Rub the palms one more time. This time we'll do for the legs. So it takes quite a bit of energy to get these hands moving quickly. It wakes the entire body up. Good. Start at the low of the back, the kidneys, just a little rubbing here, and then make your way to the legs. Make sure you get the whole length of the leg, inside, outside. You can use the affirmation, rejoice my body cells, rejoice. You're sending them all this fresh, new vitality, so let the body rejoice. Okay, last one, my friends, up above the head. Keep enough friction here. You'll feel the arms start to engage, the belly muscles are needed, and this is for cleaning out the thoughts. Any thoughts in your mind that are stagnant, that are pulling your heart in the direction that no longer serves you. And when you're sort of fatigued here, we're going to inhale and send that energy off. Yeah, let's flick the fingers up into the air. Oh, see you later. Good. And then take tips of the fingers and shift the skin on the scalp. Fingers are nice and charged with prana, a little conductors here. Just shift the skin and you will shift your thinking. Good. And last of our little awakening, first 3 fingers are going to go right to the base of the skull, top of the spine. It's a little soft muscle point at the very top of the spine. Do a little circling. Gentle pressure with the fingers, then circle the opposite direction. We're going to bow the head first, double inhale and lift up and tense back against your fingers in the back of the neck. And then release, and then come back to massaging. Good. Don't worry about perfection. Just relax and trust your body. Double inhale, squeeze, and then release. Good. One more time, a little circling, reverse the direction. Good. Bow the head, double inhale and tense back. Good, and release. Let's take a moment here, just close the eyes, look right to the spiritual eye. Notice how you feel in your body. Free yourself of judgment. You are how you are in this moment. Be with that as fully as you can. Let's open the eyes and get started for our physical practice. Okay, my friends, we're going to come right into standing position. Take your time as you're ready to come up here and do a little adjustment so you guys can see me well. All right, so welcome everyone. Let's just go ahead and roll up under the ball of the foot and then roll to the heel. Just a little awakening of feet, awakening of the calves. A little rocking forwards and backwards, making sure you can feel your center. Good. Yeah, it's kind of nice actually. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale and flip the palms to face up and lift yourself up. Lift, lift, lift. Pull the energy right out of the deep wellspring of the spine, and then exhale and let it bloom out nice and wide. A couple rounds here. Inhaling, focus on the center of your spine. Lift the energy up. And exhale to release. If you're doing this practice correctly, the body starts to feel very light. Right? We want the arms to just feel like they're gliding through space, almost that they're using no energy to move here. And this is how you know that prana is circulating through the body. Everything becomes very effortless, and then joy starts to happen. All right, let's take it a little more dramatic. Next time you lift arms all the way up overhead, open the palms, bend the knees. We're going to reach all the way down. Take a deep bend, and then inhale and rise up here, right on the tips of the toes. Exhale and release that down. So nice controlled movements. Controlled yet relaxed. Good. You don't have to synchronize perfectly with me. You're just sort of feeling into that sense of drawing and lifting. And we're awakening low back muscles and belly muscles. So when you're bending down, make sure that you're using the strength of your belly and your low spine to draw you up. Good. And let's just do one more round. We inhale, drop all the way down. Inhale, rise, rise, rise. Interlace the fingers and press the palms into the sky. You're on tips of the toes. Get as long as you can in your spine. Nice deep breath in. Feel free to hold the breath at the top. Big, big smile. And release. All right. Great job, everyone. First posture, let's come right to the front of our mat. And we're nice and light on our feet. Lighten our being. Take one step back if you'd like. 2 steps and 3 steps only if you can get back out. Your toes are going to face off to the side. We're coming into our side angle pose. So you can take your front palm here and face it up and rest your forearm down onto the thigh. Your opposite arm in the gentle version reaches above the head. Palm facing down, cutting over the space of the head is a little bit harder. You might be able to lower your hips down and create one beautiful angle all along the right side of the body. The tendency is sometimes to lay into this front arm. Keep the body taut, energetic. The affirmation, I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Feel that in your spine. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Sometimes a little gremlin inside says, I don't agree with that. Let him be washed away in your fountain of boundless energy and power. You're ready to lower down, just a gentle release of the top arm first. Inhale, come back to standing, and you can straighten your front leg, take hands into the heart, eyes open if need be, or close them and look right into the spiritual eye. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. And then opening the eyes, let's straighten the front leg. We're going to come into triangle pose. Since we're in the perfect position, flip the left palm up and reach out as far as you can. Keep reaching, reaching until you find your maximum. That's where you drop the arm down. Most of us, it's somewhere on the inner thigh region. You reach your opposite arm up into the sky as high as the body will allow. By pressing off of the left hand, it helps you to turn the torso open, turn the heart open to the sky. The affirmation, energy and joy flood my body. Joy descends to me. Oh, energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Be there with the position in the body. Not waiting for release, but here, no matter what you're experiencing. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Smile. If you're joyful, you would have a smile on your face. You'd feel wonderful in your body. Let's slowly come out of the position. Hands right into the heart center. Look into the spiritual eye. Stand tall with your legs. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. One more time, say it with zeal. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Becoming a magnet for joy. When you're ready, we're going to take a step or two or three, as many as you need, all the way up to the front of the mat. And we'll come into standing position. Let's take a little bend of the knees and just sweep the arms up and around. And we'll reset the body. Exhale, fold forward, release the hands and head down. Inhale, lift halfway. Nice, strong belly muscles, supportive. And then exhale to fold yourself forward and bend the knees and roll up the spine. 2 more times like this, resetting. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale to glide into your halfway lift. Exhale to soften. Inhale to rise. And finish with arms up for last time. Moving at your own pace. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, lift through the back of the neck, especially halfway lift. And then exhale to slide down, bend the knees and roll up the spine. Good, nice flexible spine here. We'll come back to the front of the mat and you just take your other step back here. So we're doing left foot this time. Notice if you want to start with one step, and you may even go 2 or 3. Just make sure you can get out of the position. Forearm comes down onto the calf, or thigh rather. Palm is facing up. This is a great time to practice a mudra. So if you like thumb and forefinger, or thumb and middle fingers, good for developing patience. Just drop the forearm down and reach the opposite arm into the sky. Initially, you want to focus on opening the heart. So let your heart open. Relax in your hips. Your whole body is relaxed in each posture. Good. If you want the energetic version, palm faces down and you cut the sky above the head by reaching up and out at an angle. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Say the affirmation, start out loud and work inwardly. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Good. Breathe into that energy, breathe into that power. Try not to sleep on this front shoulder and arm. Keep the belly awake. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Expand, find the threshold of your practice and calmly stretch a bit further. When you are ready to leave, you inhale to rise out, let the top arm come down and circle around right into the heart. Legs are fairly straight. You can bend the knee a little if it's more comfortable. And take a neutral asana right at the spiritual eye. Center the mellow light of your attention. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Try to relax the body. Eyes stay open if your balance is compromised. See if you can feel your spine. Whenever you're ready, the eyes can open, and we'll start to straighten this front leg. Nice, strong integrity, flipping the right hand out as far as you can go. So you're leaning forward like you're about to catch fruit dropping from the tree, and then you drop the arm down. Now make sure it's sustainable. You might back out a little bit, just so that you can stay in the position. If anyone goes beyond the knee down towards the ankle, just make sure the posture's serving you. The affirmation, energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Joyful people are always wildly energetic. You ever notice it doesn't matter how much sleep you had, how much food you've eaten, when you're in a state of joy, when you're around people that you love, you feel electrified by their energy. It's contagious. Breathing nice, steady. This is a very invigorating posture. Use the belly muscles to support you. If you find yourself sort of wincing, tightening in the face, just relax a little. It's like you're on the beach, laying in the sun. When you're ready to come out of the pose on inhalation before there's any fatigue in the body. Drop the back arm down and around and join the hands right into prayer. Clear the mind, come right into the spiritual eye, and just be present with your body. Relaxing and feeling. When You are ready to exit the pose. We're just turning onto the long edge of our mat. We're in the perfect place. Heels are going to come inward, toes are going to point outward. And this affords us just to kind of lean from one side to the other. This is all classic sort of little opening stretch. Just get a little from side to side, freeing up the legs, freeing up back of the knees. If you don't need hands, don't use them. Good. Careful in your low spine here. And then we'll come back to neutral. This time you're going to turn toes to face in, heels are facing out. Don't worry about a sharp angle, just a little bit here. And you're going to slowly bow forwards. Rock your weight onto the ball of the foot and release the head down. The affirmation, I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. Leave nothing on the table in your practice. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens. Feel the wonderful vitality of blood and prana coming back into the brain. We're going to come and lift halfway. If you can, you just press off of your thighs a bit here. Deep, deep breath, and then exhale. Take another round. Relax the low back. You can hold onto either elbow and do a little rock from one side to the other. Just be mindful of your body. When you're ready, you can go ahead and lift halfway as a motion of exiting. Just come up and inhale, and then exhale. Fold yourself back down and pull your heels in and let your toes come out. You can press off of your thighs and inhale to lift. Rise, rise, rise out of the position. Good. If you feel lightheaded, tighten your thighs and open your eyes wide right away. Good. Let's circle arms up above the head. Exhale, hands right above the head in prayer. Mountain pose. Look right into the spiritual eye. The affirmation, my thoughts and energy rise up to touch the sky. My thoughts and energy rise up to touch the sky. Little pressure between the palms, and keep the inner thighs drawing close together, pelvic floor lifting. My thoughts and energy rise up to touch the sky. All right, let's start with our back foot is going to turn towards the front of our mat, and we're going to pivot on our heel, and all of a sudden we're oriented forwards here. We're coming into warrior one. So you can leave your heel on the ground. Some of us, it's more stable in our bodies, or roll onto the back of, or roll into the ball of the foot and lift the heel. Good. Make sure your knee's right over your ankle, no further. It can be less if need be. And then when you're ready, you inhale and free the arms up into the sky. Most important is start with your foundation. Your legs are like scissors closing together, and your hips are drawing as if you had a belt that were too tight around your waist, drawing together. And then lift that energy right up through the solar plexus, fire center, will center in the body. Let it refine into the heart as loving expression. The affirmation, I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. Let's go ahead and just let the hands melt down out of the way on the next exhalation, and see if you can take them interlacing behind the back here and squeeze the shoulders, a little heart opening, and really push off of that back leg like you're going to take flight at any moment here. A little different, almost as though we're preparing for Ganapati Asana or Warrior 3 pose. If anyone desires to take off, feel free, but we won't do it together as a group. You just go ahead and lift up. Otherwise, this is sufficient. Find readiness. You're just about to lift off. The affirmation, I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. Good, and then relax the arms, set your back heel down to start. We're going to rotate onto the long side here. And just close the eyes, relax the palms. If we're on any roller coaster ride of excitement, let the excitement calm down a bit here so that the highs and lows aren't so dramatic. We're finding the middle path. Just take a final moment to look right into the spiritual eye. Eyes look up, head doesn't move a muscle. And then when you're ready to exhale and release, you open the eyes. We're going to turn around backwards. It's the same sequence. So turn your back foot to face up towards the back side of your mat. If you feel more comfortable turning around, feel free. But sometimes it's nice to turn to different directions in your practice. It will help to move the energy. We're coming into Warrior 1 pose. So roll onto the ball of the back foot if you're choosing so, and arms up into the sky. And your back leg is sharp. It's like a telephone pole or a beam. The kneecap draws up into the thigh. Your hips are tight together. You're closing the legs closer and lifting through the pelvic floor. And all this energy makes the upper body feel weightless. I attune my will to the source of all power. Like we go around with our little battery packs and they drain. Well, now you're plugging back into the wall, to the source of all power. Feel that coursing through your body. I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power, and let that recharge your body cells. You can free the arms down and back behind you as you're ready, interlacing fingers, squeezing shoulders, and really start to push off that back foot, leaning onto your front foot like you were going to take off. If you're looking down at the ground, just look to the top edge of your mat. You might even look a little higher, lift the gaze to the spiritual eye. The affirmation, I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. I sail serenely through skies of inner freedom. The spine is long. You're ready to release. Let all that energy calm down. Back heel is going to set back onto the ground. Just pivot so that you're facing the side of your mat again. Good, and relax here. Free the arms. Let that wave neutralize a little bit more so that the highs aren't as high, the lows aren't as low. Most people oscillate right up into excitement and they nosedive down into exhaustion. Excitement, exhaustion. And we're looking for the mellow pulse of joy. You could heel toe back into the center. Good. Let's just take a few cleansing rounds of breath. Inhaling to rise up. Arms all the way up into the sky. Exhaling, go ahead and fold yourself forwards. Make sure you release the head and the neck full. Then the inhale finds you lifting halfway. And the exhale back down and bend the knees and roll up the spine. Relax the spine, let it be long. Good. And finally you reach the peak, arms all the way up. Look for slow, consistent movements. Exhale, forward fold. Nice, calm. Inhale to lift up. You're shifting down on the gears here to slow, steady movement. And then inhaling to rise when you feel inspired, when the breath is there. Good. Last time we come through standing position. Come all the way up. Come on the tips of the toes if you so choose. Reach, reach, reach with lots of energy, and then exhale, let it all mellow, like the flakes in the snow globe. Settle, settle down all the way to the ground. Good. We're going to stay down this time, bend knees and walk feet away from the hands. Downward facing dog as you press out of the palms. Looking to the lap. We're not waiting for the next moment. We're here in the posture, watching as it unfolds. It's like a flower that blooms before our eyes. Watch the time lapse of your experience in each posture. The affirmation, calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. When you're ready to come out, walk the hands back towards the feet. Bend the knees enough that you can get all the way back there. And just release off of the arms for a second. Take hands and circle them. Circle the wrists. Good. Rub the wrists with the other palm. Just get a little vitality flowing. Make sure you release the head and the neck here. Good. Let's slide hands up to the thighs. Inhale, lift halfway. We're not coming to standing. Exhale, slide back down. Walk your hands out. Try like you're on a tightrope. One hand over the other, and feel the body calibrating to support you, and then setting hands onto either side of your mat here as you reach the top. Relax in the backside of your knees, looking to the lap. Repeat the affirmation, calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Very gently drop the knees down towards the earth. We're going to take an alternate version of child's pose. Untuck the toes, release down onto forearms. Maybe walk them a step further. Let the spine arch and push the hips back as you look behind you. And this is the start of Anahata pose, which is a heart-opening pose. Some of us can take arms a little wider, palms facing down, and that's okay for our bodies. Look right into the spiritual eye. Remember, this practice is happening on the stage of the inner spine. We want energy moving upward. This creates liberation. It creates freedom from the downward pulling energies of stress, anxiety, depression, restlessness. And we're rising together here onto the hands, slide them back underneath shoulders, and inhale, lift right into your cow pose. Chin lifts, crown of the head lifts. Good, exhale, round the back, and we're going to stay in cat pose. Come on to tips of the fingers, look towards your lap.
Push the belly way, way, way up into the spine and relax the shoulders. Let's take it a step further. Curl toes underneath. One foot at a hand at a time. Back to the heels. Crown of the head goes down. If your knees are too far apart, walk them closer together before you get into your hare pose. Hold onto your heels and roll up onto the top of the head. Lift your hips and push your belly into your low spine. There should be no weight on your head. The affirmation, I am master of my energy, I am master of my body. I am master of my energy, I am master of my body. This is the true meaning of pranayama, or control of the prana in the body. Learn to, at will, change the directive flow up the spine. We won't be subject to the stresses of life. When you're ready to release, you untuck the toes, and you can come into a formal child's pose if you'd like. Or some of us are able to come into Vajrasana, which is the seated pose over the ankles. If you are in Vajrasana, just make sure that your palms are facing up. Let your body, as if gravity were twice as powerful, surrender to that pressure and let it fold your body into a deep state of rest. Retreat within to your inner cave of silence, to the inner river of the spine and all the wonderful energy that's rising back to your spiritual eye. We'll just take maybe 3 to 5 breaths in silence here to feel and notice. Before moving a muscle, feel an inward smile developing in the heart, a grateful thought. And notice the energetic shift that happens when we move into a state of gratitude or joy. You don't even have to have anything that you're grateful for or joyful for. Just thankful for the sake of being thankful. And it's from that energy that we'll inhale and rise out of our child's pose. Head is the last part of the body to come up. And we're going to just roll off to the side and prepare to come down onto our backs. It can be nice before you come down on the back, especially if you want to feel some awakening energy, to hold on to the backs of the thighs and just lift the heart. So this is boat pose, but rather than lifting the legs or really stimulating the body, you're just lengthening through the crown of your head. And you want to over-exaggerate, so really lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And when you're finished with this, you just round the back and slowly roll down to the earth.
So I'm going to teach a plow pose today. If you've never done plow pose, watch in entirety first, and then you can attempt on your own. So before we start, once you're in plow, no looking left or right. There's too much weight on your upper neck. Start with plugging elbows into the ground. You're looking right to the ceiling, and you're going to sweep your feet overhead, and the easiest version is just to hold onto the backs of your legs and roll onto your upper back. And this is actually called tranquility pose. You're just rolling onto your upper back. If you want the full version, plug elbows into the ground and press off the ground and roll the feet over the head and hold on to the hips. If your feet touch the ground, wonderful. You have probably practiced this pose before. Now it's very important while you're in the pose to breathe very calmly. And if you have any pressure building in your face, that is an invitation to release out of the position. It's okay if initially there's a little bit building. Just take a few moments to rest and plow. The affirmation, new life, new consciousness, now flood my being, or flood my brain. New life, new consciousness, now flood my brain. I'd invite you to stay a little longer. If anyone needs to release, you just release the same way that you came in. Now there's an option that when you do feel that you'd like to release, bend your knees and let your knees come right on either side of your ears. And this is knee to ear pose. It's a wonderfully calming posture for the nervous system. And even if you get a little hug of the knees and the ears, you can deafen some of the sound. Don't be concerned if the body doesn't allow for it. And at some point, some of us can remain in these postures and they just feel so wonderfully healing. And for you, that stay in the pose as long as you'd like. For some of us, they can be challenging. Our bodies are still adapting. And for you, just release out of the pose when you feel that it's time for you to do so. Some of us might lift into a supported shoulder stand. And we start sending feet up towards the sky, and we're holding underneath the hips. Just be mindful of what your body needs. If you'd like to try an inversion, but you're not quite ready to hold onto your own hips, just set your hands as little fists underneath your hips, and I can demonstrate. You can look at me as long as you're not in a pose, and just sit on the hands and little fists and send feet up towards the sky. Supported shoulder stand, if you've never tried it but you're curious, you press off the elbows like plow pose, but catch the hips into the hands and send your feet up to the sky. And this is the reset button for the body. This inversion posture is great for reversing improper pranayama. And then whenever you're ready to come down, you do so gently. Some of us might stay in supportive shoulder stand for another minute or so, and that's wonderful. Feel free. We're going to end in our final posture before Shavasana of twisting. And this can take many different forms. The easiest is anchor your feet on the ground, knees are bent. Roll your knees off to one side, all the way down. Roll the whole body so you're lying on your side. If knees are pointing to let's say the left, then you are laying on left side of the body. Gather both of your arms to that side and then initiate the twist if you'd like to try it. Now if you want a deeper experience, come out of the pose and we're going to lift our hips. So we'll start on right side so that we're uniform. If you're going to come to this journey with me, you lift your hips like a bridge pose and set them way, way, way off to the left. Then roll your knees down. Then open your arms wide. And this creates quite a deeper twist. If you want a deeper expression, top leg, in this case, left leg extends nice and long. You just note what you're ready for. The affirmation, I open to the flow of God's life within me. The great yogi Swami Sri Yukteswar describes God as ever new joy. You may have a form of the beloved that you hold dear to you. The essence of the divine for everyone manifests as ever new joy. And we're opening to that flow of grace and joy within ourselves. I open to the flow of God's life within me. And look right into the spiritual eye and feel wonderful expansive consciousness widening your inner reality. Stay longer if you'd like, but when you're ready to switch sides, we inhale and rise out of the posture. Now if you just rolled the knees over, you come right onto the other side. If you lifted the hips with me, you have to counter now. So lift your hips from the left side, way, way over to the right, all the way onto the right side of the mat, and then we roll over to our left side. And then your arms expand once you get in the pose. Most of us start with a little tiny shot glass for containing the joy of the divine within. And we barely get a little sip. But as you open yourself, you're widening that container. Yogananda used to tell his disciple, Swami Kriyananda, how can you expect the ocean to fit into a cup? You have to widen your container to receive the vast inner bliss. You do this through willingness, surrender, acceptance. By this point in the practice, if there's still agitation in the mind, that's the ups and downs of thoughts and feelings, just stay focused on your breath and a calm awareness throughout the body. gradually we prepare to exit the position. Always doing so very calmly, slowly, gradually. The knees are bent and we roll back, lying flush with our back on the ground. And if your hips were way over to the right, just lift them and put them back into the center of your mat. And then let your knees flag left and right and flush out the spine here. Arms nice and wide, reaching another direction. This is a great time to practice any final posture in the next minute or so that you're maybe hoping to explore. For the rest of us, we're coming into Shavasana, which is one leg extending at a time. This is a great time to have a blanket to keep the body warm. And so we extend one leg out, the other palms face up on either side of the body, and you're lying down, receiving. And let's finish our practice in gratitude. So as you rest your awareness at your spiritual eye, you can begin by saying thank you, not to anything in particular. And let that ripple first through the bloodstream, then through the nadis or the subtle energetic channels within the body. You are a perfect reflection of the divine, ever new, ever conscious, ever existing bliss. Surrender the whole body. We'll rest in silence for about 5 minutes. Gradually begin to invite our awareness back to the body, remaining perfectly still. Feeling inner peace, contentment, invite the peace within you to ripple out into the physical body, relieving any subconscious inner conflicts. Let's take 3 to 5 more breaths in a deep state of peace. You may begin with deep conscious breath in through the nose, expanding chest and ribs and belly. And let that transform into little movements of fingers and toes. Try to make it gradual so that there aren't sharp transition points in your return. And gradually arms might free overhead along the earth. And building peace bridges within yourself. The knees might come in towards the chest, a little rocking side to side. Just take your time. And then rolling off to the side where you begin to prepare to rise up. You take your time whenever you're ready. With the eyes closed right away and steep right back into that inner sense of contentment and peace. Looking into the spiritual eye as you do find yourself seated. Relax the entire body, and we'll close with an affirmation together today. This is an affirmation on contentment. Contentment has been said to be the supreme virtue. Contentment means living to the fullest, the good of every passing moment. Above all, it means living behind the present moment in the eternal now. How much is lost in life by people who perennially wish things other than they are, who complain unceasingly and tell themselves the world owes them more than it is giving them. We must smile inwardly with the divine, knowing that the life is his dream. Contentment is the surest way of drawing the very best out of every circumstance. Since we are already quite inward, let's start in a whisper. Through life's mightiest storms, I am contented, for I hold in my heart the divine's peace. Silently now inward, through life's mightiest storms, I am contented, for I hold in my heart the divine's peace. And one last time with energy rising to the spiritual eye, repeat this affirmation inwardly in super consciousness. Through life's mightiest storms, I am contented, for I hold in my heart the divine's peace. And our closing prayer, Lord, as you live eternally at rest in yourself, so let me live also, contented ever, that I may be worthy of living in your joy. Let's join the hands together in prayer, praying for inner peace and contentment throughout these lands in every heart and soul. If there's anyone you'd like to pray for in particular, invite them into the sounding of Om. Let's rub the palms together. Expanding the palms, deep inhalation through the nose. Breath and press the hands out like you're sending a pulsing wave of energy out into this beautiful world. And then hands back together in prayer, gentle bow of our head towards our hands. We bow humbly to the divine within ourselves, to the divine within every being by saying Namaste. Namaste. We bow to all the great teachers that guide us inwardly. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining and sharing your morning with me. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Go share some joy and some light and love with the world. Namaste.